Always remember to utilize your thespianic melodramaticon visuale. That's your facial expressions if you're not a fluffy actor type. There's a whole range of expressions available. The directional buttons on the controller are your pastels and your fingers the brushes, so paint the face you want. Press up for a big beamy smile, or down for a frown. Press the left button to show fear, and the right button to get tough. Oh, ready to get medieval on someone's bottom, are you? You can also get jiggy and shake your sack booty by waving the wireless controller around. Press in the left stick to switch between controlling your head and your pelvis. Hold down the limb buttons and use the sticks to control your arms. My, you really are a mover and shaker, aren't you? Most stylish. It's not always the done thing to gad about the LittleBigPlanet surface as naked as the day you were stitched. Sometimes you need to be a formal Freddy. Using costumes in LittleBigPlanet is as simple as getting dressed. In fact, it's even easier than the sniff it, bin it, or wear it system. Press the menu button to access your poppet and use the left stick to browse the various icons. Press Action to choose one. Choose the Customize Character menu to fling wide the wardrobe doors. Now, your left stick allows you to browse materials, garments, colours, and even entire off-the-peg ensembles. Press the Action button to robe yourself in finery or cloak yourself in shame. Depends on your fashion sense, one supposes. To get out of Poppet, just press the back button to return to the main menu, and press it again to close it completely. There's life in the old togs yet. The stickers in LittleBigPlanet are tiny masterpieces and the most collectible must-haves in the ethereal dreamscape. Press the menu button to open your Poppet and select Stickers and Decorations with the Action button. Gaze in wonderment at this display. It makes the Sistine Chapel look like something you'd stick on a fridge with a novelty magnet. So share these divine sticky lovelies as you're gadding around LittleBigPlanet by placing them here, there, and everywhere. Choose the one you like with the left stick and select it with the Action button. Move it around with the left stick until it's just so. Resize it with up and down on the right stick and rotate it using left and right. You can even mirror your sticker by pressing in the right stick. Pressing the Action button lets you place it as many times as you like. It's the back button to get back to your Poppet and choose another gorgeous sticker with the Action button. Once the muse is satisfied, press back to return to Poppet, back again to get to the main menu, and back one last time to close your Poppet for good. Stickers. Couldn't you just kiss them? You're one of those techno-Trevors who knows absolutely everything about computers, then this is going to knock the novelty socks right off your ankles. Get this. You can take photos of anything with your PlayStation Eye camera and place them right into LittleBigPlanet. I know! I'm shaking too. Open your poppet with the menu button and go to the PlayStation Ayee page inside Stickers and Decorations. Find a frame that really goes with your vision and select it with the Action button. Move it about with the left stick, just like you do with those delicious stickers. When you're ready, strike a pose and press the Action button to take a photo and place it straight into your scene. Keep it clean, mind you. No pictures of your bottom, or even worse, mine. In Create mode, the Goodies bag is a treasure trove of goodies, gizmos and gadgets. Indeed, everything you collect in LittleBigPlanet. Simply pop open your poppet with the menu button and select the Goodies bag icon with the Action button. Inside, you'll find all the things you've collected, won, or been given. The objects you discover on your travels will head straight to the Collected Objects page. Use the Page button to get there now for a Sammy Shufti. Choose an object that takes your fancy and select it with the Action button. Ooh, cake! See that? Cake, right there. You can move it around with the left stick. And pressing up or down on the right stick will resize it, while pressing left or right on the right stick will rotate it. Just like every object in LittleBigPlanet, you can mirror it by pressing the Mirror button. You can use the Shuffle buttons to move objects forwards and backwards. When you're happy, place it with the Action button. The cake is translucent because you're stamping it. No, not stamping on it. Stamping means you can place one thing as many times as you like. Press the back button when you're all done and keep pressing until Poppet is closed. Can't stop thinking about cake now. Cake, cake, cake! The 3 C's. I got stuck in a hat once, you know. And sometimes you'll get stuck in LittleBigPlanet. But all is not lost, so don't get all angry and stomp around like a big huffy Henry. It's not the carpet's fault. And it's probably not yours either. Just use the menu button to open your poppet, and then use the left stick to select the Try Again icon. Then press and hold the Action button. Keep holding the Action button and your breath until you pop. But all is not lost. You'll be stitched back together quicker than you can say, "Mummy, I've just burst at the seams," and reappear at the last activated checkpoint. Wouldn't you believe it? Look, it's a wooden U. Open your poppet with the menu button and select the poppet cursor by pressing the Action button. The poppet cursor is more powerful than you can possibly imagine, so use it wisely, young sack apprentice. It will let you manipulate time and space to your bidding. Almost. Take this wooden chap, for example. Select him by pressing the Action button when the cursor is over it. You can move him around with the left stick. Pressing up or down on the right stick lets you make him as big or as small as you like, but press left or right and you can tip him any which way up. Is that how you treat all your friends? You can even use the Shuffle buttons to move the thing you're holding forwards and backwards. And the thickness buttons will make him fatter or slimmer. Go on, podge him out a bit. When you're happy, press the action button again to place him down. Press back to return to the main menu. When you drop an object, it will stay exactly where you leave it, like chewing gum on an unfortunate carpet. That is, until you close Poppet completely by pressing back again. Oh my, I haven't told you about the pause mode yet. Press the up button to pause your game. Unlike real life, you can undo or redo your actions using the left and right buttons. Perfect for people who aren't perfect. Close Poppet, and see, everything will stay right where you put it. I just wish I could do that with my car keys. And my car. And now, nothing will move until you unpause again with the up button. Then it will either behave just as you intended, or fall to the floor with a disappointing clatter. But have no fear. Remember, you can always undo. And when you make a Freddy fluff you can't undo, the cursor can always delete it. Select the object with the action button, then press the delete button when you're ready. It's just like he never existed, but we shall never forget what's-his-face. LittleBigPlanet is made out of craft materials, the meat, drink and creme brulee dessert of any serious creator. As you gad around LittleBigPlanet, you'll pick up many different materials from prize bubbles, and they'll go straight into your goodies bag. Press the menu button to open your Poppet, and let's head to the goodies bag right now. The materials page is a vast stockpile of wood, cloth, metal, almost anything you can think of. Choose a suitable material. It's time to get in shape. Choose the shape you want with the action button. Like most things in LittleBigPlanet, the left stick serves to move it around, and the right stick does the rotating and resizing honours. Stamp it down with the action button. Use the shuffle buttons to move it in and out as required. If you hold down the action button, you can draw with your material. Pretend it's a big marker pen and LittleBigPlanet is your scrapbook. You're getting the hang of this. You can change the thickness of the material with the thickness buttons. From large, you don't get many of those to the pound, madam, triple layer servings, to wholesome double-thick platefuls, to chubby single-layer portions, and finally to super skinny thin layers. You can combine different depths and thicknesses to make modern or even postmodern creations. Thin layers can slip in between thick layers. But if you're feeling destructive, hold down the delete button. This will cut a chunk out of any other craft material that should dare stand in your way. When you start drawing over a different material, or a material that is a different thickness, you'll see the right shape is automatically cut out. The two resulting shapes will get glued together quicker than you can say epoxy resin. Each different material behaves just as you'd imagine. Metal is heavy and solid. Glass is all slippy-slidey. Polystyrene is floaty light and a little bit squeaky. And Sponge is, well, spongy. Hold down the grab button to grasp certain materials in your vice-like grip. Sponge and polystyrene spring to mind. This is all so much easier than tricking an elderly relative into doing your DIY for you. Now, somewhere there is a wooden character playing hide-and-seek. Open Poppet and choose the cursor. When you can't see the wood for the trees, you can hide objects using the Hide button. Ah, there he is, the mysterious mahogany menace. You can select him with the Action button, right through a hidden object. When you want everything to come out and play, unhide it all with the Unhide button. When you want even more cake, select it with the Action button and press the Copy button. That cake is faked. The copy is created as a stamp, and you can place down as many copies as you like. Press back when you're done with the stamp. I'll wager a week's cake allowance you didn't know that the Poppet cursor could hold more than one thing at a time. You're nodding, but I'm not convinced. If you press and hold the Action button, you can drag-select as many things as you like. For the more curious creators amongst you, controlling lots of objects simultaneously is exactly the same as controlling just one. If you press and hold the multiple Select button, you can use the Action button to add individual objects to your selection of beautiful things. Press the Action button over the object again, and it'll be removed from your beautiful thing selection. Oh, he's gone again. Ah, well, all the more cake for you and me, my chumblies. Stick around for some information on gluing objects together. Open your Poppet with the Menu button and select the Poppet cursor with the Action button. Pick up that wooden chappie, let's call him Edward, with the Action button, and let's glue that cake to his feet, just for jolly. Hold the left stick towards the cake and just push Edward up against it. Then hold the Action button down until the glue sets with a satisfying splodgy squelch. If the object you want to glue is on a different layer, use the Layer Change buttons instead of the left stick. Now, if you select Edward with your cursor, the cake gets picked up as well. The dotted lines around an object show you that it's been stuck on. If you tap the Delete button now, Edward will be torn from the cake as satisfyingly as an old scab from a healed knee. But if you want to delete the whole assembly, then just hold down the Delete button until it's all gone. Of course, press the Delete button when Edward isn't stuck to anything, and he'll get deleted like before. Sometimes you need a bit more control over gluing. Open your Poppet and select the Tools bag with the Action button. Now select the Advanced Glue tool from the Functions section. You can choose exactly which objects you want to glue with the Action button by first selecting one and then another. Just make sure they're touching. It's glue, not magic. Excellent. Gosh, we really are all bonding now, aren't we? Your friend and mine, Crash Test Teddy, has volunteered to help us out today. Open your Poppet with the Menu button and select the Tools bag. The Danger Tools section contains tools for adding mild peril and comic mischief to your levels. This is the Electric tool. Press the Action button when the cursor is over the object you want to electrify. Ready, Teddy? Go! Now that's just shocking. Press the back button when you're done and close Poppet, again with the back button. Oh, I wouldn't step there if I was you. These dangers are far from being beneficial to a sack person's health, aren't they? So, what else have we got? The fire tool will keep Teddy all warm and toasty. Oh my, Ted. Some sunblock might have helped with that. If you press the action button again, it will toggle the danger and douse Ted here in the soothing balm of not being on fire. Press the back button again when you're done, you pyro. The plasma tool is from some weird kind of science fiction. Except for Teddy, where it's science fact. Finally, the horrible gas tool can be used to make floaty, ugly, stinky objects. Ugh, it's like a teenager's duvet. Oh, and one taddish postscript. You can always use the unlethalized tool to turn things back to their original, mostly harmless state. There we are, safe, sound, and about as dangerous as a sleeping puppy wrapped in cotton wool. Use the corner editing tool to make adjustments to your nearly perfect creations. You'll find it in the tools bag. Press the action button over the object you want to edit to select it. This bird is a mohawk, so we'll give him a hairstyle to match. Pressing the action button will add a corner, or as they say in hairdresser parlance, a punky-pointy bit. If you carry on like that, he'll look like a cheap Picasso knockoff. Luckily, the delete button will remove corners you don't want. He definitely got out of the wrong side of the nest this morning. A bird hair day. Anybody who's anybody wants a crash test Teddy to love and to hug and to set on fire. Open the My Objects page in your Poppet. Once you've made an object you really like, you can save it into your goodies bag and use it again and again. Select the Capture Object tool. Fit the dotty box all around the objects you want to include. Resize the box with the right stick, and once it fits around Teddy, press the action button to save him forevermore. Lucky Teddy will immediately appear in your My Objects page. Lots of Teds. Here's a thought. The collective noun for a lot of Teds should be a picnic of teddy bears. Yes, I like that. Well, we can't leave it just lying there. It's making the place look all messy. Open your Poppet and choose the Poppet cursor so you can pick up that tail and put it in just the right place. Press the action button when you're happy, then press back to return to the main menu. Now, get a bolt from your tools bag in the Connectors section. Position the bolt over the two things you want to connect, and press the action button to fasten both together. Press back twice to get to the Poppet main menu. Select the Poppet cursor, hover it over the bolt, and press the tweak button. Tweaking an object lets you change all manner of settings. Push up and down on the left stick to get the setting you want, and push left and right to change its value. By increasing a bolt's strength, you tighten it up and make it less likely to turn. Press back when you're happy. Press back again to return to the menu, and press it once more to close poppet. If I didn't know better, I'd say this donk is out to get you. You can also detach a bolted object. Just select the tail and press delete. You can either place it again or press delete once more to get rid of it forever. For a bit more bounce, why not try a spring bolt? Just like the basic bolt, it's in your poppet in the tools bag. We need the poppet cursor, so press back twice to get to the main menu. Select the poppet cursor and tweak the spring bolt. You can change the spring's strength and also the resting angle. This sets where the spring will try to bounce back to. Other factors will alter a spring bolt's action too, such as a great big nitwit getting in its way. Yes, exactly like that. What do you know about motor bolts? No, motor bolts, not motor boats. Open your poppet's tools bag and select a motor bolt. Here's a secret. There's another way to bolt things together. So first off, attach the motor bolt to the tail using the Action button. Press back to return to the main menu and select the poppet cursor. Without fear and with very little trepidation, pick up the whole device with the Action button. When you place it down again, the motor bolt will become automatically joined to whatever is behind it. You're getting good at this, aren't you? It's wonderful to watch, it really is. Remember, you can tweak a motor bolt. Tweaking its strength gives it more power. And its speed makes it turn faster. Changing direction, well, you can gather what that does, no doubt. You can also detach a bolted object. Just select the tail and press delete. You can either place it again or press delete once more to get rid of it forever. Oh, and you simply must know all about the Wobble bolt. It's a motor bolt that keeps changing direction. Place it just like any other bolt, but this time hold down the Action button until the tweak menu appears. Range shows how far it wibbles. And angle sets its mid-wibble point. Strength, of course, is how much power it has to move the objects it's attached to. Time is how long it takes for a single wobble, while pause determines the weight between wobbles. The sync setting allows it to wobble in or out of time with other objects in your scene. You know, all this reminds me of a wonderfully funny joke I know about a wobbly goblin that I'm not going to tell you. Poor old Rusty the robot, living up to his name. He needs some long joints to pull himself together. So let's restore him to his former glory, starting with his head. Open your poppet and go to the Tools bag. Select some string from the Connectors section of the Gadgets page. Using the Action button, first attach one end of the string to his head, and then attach the other end to that conveniently placed metal arch. Hey presto! In a loose, lollipy way, how long is a piece of string? Well, the piece I own is 7.5 centimeters, but in LittleBigPlanet it's as long as you tweak it to be. Next, put some boying in his boots with a spring. It's also in the Connectors section. Remember, you place one end first and then the other. You can tweak a spring's strength and length. And you can make it stiff so it won't wobble from side to side. Nearly there now. No big stompy robot is complete without big swingy arms. Select some elastic from the Connectors section to complete Rusty's bouncy right arm. When you place the tip, hold the Action button down, and just like that, you're tweaking it. Why not set its strength? Is he a scrawny shrimp bot or a pumped-up powerhouse? No, his other arm needs assistance too. Select a rod so that he may prod. You'll need to tweak its stiffness while you're there. We don't want his new arm flailing around helplessly. It's unbecoming. Rusty is restored. He thanks you from the bottom of his cold metallic heart. Winston the Winch's arms have fallen off. So before he sells all his jackets on the internet, we need to repair him. Open your poppet with the menu button and go to the Connectors section of the Tools bag. We need a winch, a kind of motorized chain. Attach one end to Winston's body and the other to his hand. Hold the Action button down to tweak its length, and let's stop him dragging his robot knuckles along the floor like a cave bot. A chain, as you would expect, can crumple even shorter than the length you set, but can't be stretched longer. That wasn't hard, was it? A little bit of kindness goes a long way. Hold on, my chum Winston still needs some help. You need to furnish Winston's other hand with a piston. That's also in the Connectors section of the Tools bag. By default, it will stand more rigid than a slice of stale bread, so make sure to unset the stiff option if you want that panicked flailing effect. You can also tweak a piston's minimum and maximum length, and the time it takes to move between the two. Unlike a chain, the piston will only move between the lengths you set. Oh, look how happy you've made a robot with no feelings or emotions. Bless. Consider the windmill. Let's have a faff about with it, shall we? Open your poppet and go to the tools bag. In the sensors section, you'll see a device accurately named a button. Select it with the action button and place one near the floor. You'll have to jump on it eventually, you know. Press back to return to your poppet and choose the poppet cursor. This is the button's output tab. Lots of devices have one, so keep your peepers peeled. It's the easiest way to have the output of one thing become the input of another. Select the output tab with the action button and connect it to the motor bolt. Now the motor bolt will only motor when the button is on. Buttons, by the way, only work while they're depressed. No, I don't mean unhappy. I mean pressed down, you gorgeous nincompoop. And while I'm on the subject, unless an object has multiple input tabs, it can only have one input. So, if you want to unhook a connector, select its far end with the action button. Then just connect it to something else or press the delete button to banish it forever. By the way, did you know you can pause these videos whenever you like via the Start menu? Of course you did. Open up your poppet again and fetch a grab sensor from the sensors section of the tools bag. This wondrous thing is only active when you're grabbing the material it's attached to. Connect its output tab to the motor, like before, and give us a demonstration. See? Gripping stuff. A two-way switch is special because once you turn it on, it stays on. Until you turn it off, that is. Like before, connect the output tab to the motor bolt with the poppet cursor. And stay on. Now you can be in two places at once, after a fashion. A three-way switch is the most specialist of all the specials. Firstly, get your poppet cursor and connect the output of the three-way switch to the motor. Now, tweak the motor bolt and select Input Action. This allows you to change how a device reacts once activated by a sensor. Speed Scale will let the sensor control the speed of the device. On-Off lets the sensor turn it, well, on or off. One Shot only works on some things. Best to try it out. Learn by doing and all that. We, however, need to change the motor bolt's input action to forwards-backwards, which means the three-way switch will control the direction the bolt turns. Pull it one way and it goes one way. Pull it the other and, well, there you go. Both wonderful and marvellous. As you know, there are many boring ways to change a light bulb, but right now we're just concerned with turning it on and off in exciting ways. Open the Gadgets page of your tools bag and look in the Sensors section for a tag sensor. That's the one. Place it near that light with the Action button. That's the style. Press back twice to return to the main menu and choose the poppet cursor. Then connect its output to the light bulb. Simple stuff. Hey, but don't get overconfident and wire the fridge up to the loo. You can tweak the radius to be larger or smaller. Also, you can change the trigger angle. Tag sensors only ever match tags of the same colour. And surprise upon surprise, you can tweak that too. Press the back button to return to Poppet and select a tag. If I were you, I would put the tag on that slidey block. When the tag enters the tag sensor's radius, it activates the sensor. Well, the lights are on, but there's no one home. I expect you hear that a lot, don't you? The player sensor is in the sensors section of your tools bag. It gets activated simply by the nearness of you, or any other Sackboy. Place it with the action button. Then, using the Poppet cursor, connect its output tab to that light. You can tweak its radius just like a tag sensor. And, just like the tag sensor, you can tweak the trigger angle. Setting the same layer option means the player sensor will only be activated by players in the same layers as the object to which it's attached. Players required sets the exact number of players you want before the sensor is active, but setting require all players just says this show won't begin until every seat has a bottom on it. One player, eh? Are you lonesome tonight? What is he up to now? Emitters are not just a simple parlour trick, there's an intricate science to them. They can conjure an object from thin air by solidifying the very dream beams that permeate the ether of LittleBigPlanet. See Birdie sitting in her nest? Let's use an emitter to help her lay lots of little birdie eggs. Open your Poppet and select the emitter from the Gadgets page of your tools bag. Tweak the emitter and select Choose Object. The Pick Emitted Object tool lets you grab an object straight from your scene and shoot it from your emitter faster than a pneumatic whippet. So, select an egg and place it where you want all the eggs to be laid. Dexterously done, my fine young sackmaster. Back in the Tweak menu, you can set how fast the eggs move with the linear and angular velocity settings. Change frequency for how often more are laid, and lifetime for how long you want them to remain in the scene. And that's not all. It's best to experiment. Another type of emitter is the smoke machine. Open your Poppet and select one from the Emitters section of your Gadgets page. Tweak the smoke machine and marvel at how you can change the speed at which the smoke appears. Not only that, but you can change the size of its smoky bits. Yes, that's a technical term. Anything from a gentle haze to a thick London smog, and then some. Why not choose an appropriate colour, too? Press back when you're all finished. Looks like those eggs are rotten. Sitting still is so last century. The basic mover objects are all the rage these days. You'll find them in your Poppet's Gadgets page. A mover will set Elderflower the cow going faster than you can read the headline, "Bovine roller skates madness ends in disaster." So stick one onto her rump. Change the left, right and up-down speed to set quite how moving the mover is. Local space means that as the object tumbles and turns, the direction the mover tries to go turns with it. Changing a mover's acceleration and deceleration affects how much effort it will put into reaching its desired speed. Which, let me tell you, might have some odd side effects. But don't panic. It's all part of the ethereal charm of LittleBigPlanet. Press back when you're all done tweaking. Ready? Fly, elderflower, be free. Ah, like fine art in motion. A Cudstable, or a Moonay, perhaps. The Movers section is also home to the Follower device. It will make the thing it's stuck to totter after you like an obedient armchair. Tweak it, and you'll be able to set its speed. But that's not all. If you turn off up and down movement, then the object will only be able to move left and right. Otherwise it'll be flying about like a cow in a washing machine. And we've all seen that, haven't we? Ho, ho. Setting in and out movement to yes means it will try to be as close as possible by changing layers to get all snuggly. Mind that minimum range. You don't want the thing invading your personal space. Use maximum range to control when it starts its following. This is much quicker than obedience classes. Sometimes the raw power of rocket propulsion is what you need. Open your Poppet's Gadgets page and select a thruster. Let's give this buttercup a send-off. Tweak it and change the acceleration to 100%. The currently on option is handy. Set it to off so it doesn't fire as soon as you close your Poppet. But let's connect up that button and have a test flight. 5, 4, 3. Oh, blast it. Groovy old Grandfather Time has been practicing his sassy dance moves, but his mature mechanisms need some basic rotators to grease the wheels. So, open your Poppet and find your way to the Rotators section of the tools bag. First off, let's use a rotator to put some boogie in his bonce. Plonk it anywhere you like. It will turn an object at the speed you tweak it to. Ah, there goes Gramps with his head spins. That looks terrifying. Let's hope he doesn't take breakdancing too literally. But let's get some funk in his flailings by placing a gyroscope on each of his arms. The gyroscope tries to keep an object at a fixed angle. You can tweak it to set the speed it turns with and its acceleration. Ah, yes, the old point them in the air like you just don't care manoeuvre. I know it well. To give his dance moves some direction, consider the rocket rotator. It's a clever little doohickey that turns its object towards the direction it's travelling. Don't forget to tweak its speed and acceleration. That'll put some style into his septuagenarian shuffling. And last but not least, the look-at rotator. This marvy little device will turn to point towards you or any other player. You can tweak it to change the speed and the strength with which it turns, and its detection range. You can even set it to follow a tag if you decide that, yes, it turns out pointing is rude, even on the dance floor. Ah, yes, basic rotators. They'll put some spin in your step. By the way, ever wondered what Grandpa Time uses to play his records? A gramophone. Hello? Are you still there? Come a time when you need to directly control the moving left and rightness of your infernal devices. And for that, I present for your consideration the Advanced Mover. It's in the Movers section. Place it on that slider. You know the drill. Or crane, in fact. You can control it with that three-way switch, so select your poppet cursor and connect up its output. The Advanced Mover has two inputs, one for left and right, and one for up and down. For now, the left and right input will meet our needs perfectly. Remember to tweak the speed and acceleration. You can have sloth in treacle or hot jaguar in melted butter. Oh, wait, hang on. That's Dodgy Dave's takeaway menu I was reading. You enjoying yourself there, Miss Sack Chum? When you need an object to change layer, use an in-out mover from the Movers section. Tweak it to make sure the allow pushing and maximum push weight setting are correct. There's nothing worse than being too pushy. That three-way switch will keep your in-out movements regular. Oh dear, I think Sackboy's stuck in Yobbo mode. Heard the news? Somebody has been in the LittleBigPlanet orchards and stolen all the fruit. I see. Mystery solved. You're going to want to keep that haul safe, as there's some dishonest folk around. Firstly, let's try a sticker sensor. It's in the Sensors section of your tools bag. Place it down and grab your poppet cursor to connect it to that winch. Tweak the sensor to choose a sticker and set the range. The sticker sensor will only activate when the correct sticker is placed close enough on the sensor's object. The sticker you've chosen will appear in the Switch Triggers section of the Stickers page. By the way, if you don't choose a sticker, then any sticker will activate it. Open Sesame. About opening that door with something that goes bump in the night. Place an impact sensor on that piece of wood. It'll transmit every shake, rattle and roll from things that hit it straight to the winch on that door. If you tweak the sensor, you'll find the Include Rigid Connections option. Setting it to Yes means that when you've got a whole bunch of objects stuck together, a bump or a bounce on any single one will activate the sensor. Now all we need is a way to hit that impact sensor. Ah, thank you very much. Why not add some medieval chic with a moat? Firstly, we'll have to effect some climate change via the Global Controls page and raise the water level. Now, place a water sensor on that handy piece of sponge. It becomes active once it gets submerged. Verily thou art a valiant defender of the ethereal realm. Always humans that get abducted by aliens, never cows. One paranoid conspiracy theory is that cows themselves are behind these alien abductions. Let's get our own back. There are many ways to steal a cow, and one is to use the logic gates in the sensors section of the gadgets page. Firstly, the OR gate. An OR gate will be activated when any one of its inputs, or all of them, is active. If you tweak any of the logic gates, you can set the number of inputs it has. So, connect both switches to an input and connect the OR gate's output to the alien craft's light and its tractor beam. Well, its piston. You can perform the abduction by pulling either of those two-way switches. Sorry, Elderflower, but resistance is utterly useless. The AND gate is only activated when all of its inputs are active. Like before, use the poppet cursor to connect its inputs and outputs. Try it. Elderflower won't get abducted until you pull both two-way switches. Be gentle, or we're going to have an awful lot of butter to get rid of. But let's press on. It's late and cold. You must be freezing. An XOR gate is activated when any single one, but not more than one, mind you, of its inputs is activated. Careful, don't be over-eager. Fantastic job, but it's not working out so well for Elderflower. Finally, you need to know about the NOT gate. It has one input and one output, and the output is always the opposite of the input. Connect the button to the input and the output to the piston. You'll see she's off straight away. If you jump on that button, the output will swap and you'll save the alienated Elderflower. If you want to save her, that is. I personally don't trust the old cow. But to permanently keep Elderflower's hooves on the ground, attach a battery to the NOT gate. A battery emits a constant on signal. Unlike a real battery powered by bunnies and magic, it never ever runs out. The NOT gate converts it to an off signal, and saddle my horse and call me Rick. Elderflower is safe. But how safe are we? The mooth is out there. Isn't enough room on that carrot for more than 1 or 2 devices. Worryingly, it's not the first time I've ever said that. But you want to make a floating, flaming carrot? Let's have a think. You're going to need a microchip to make more space. It's in the simple logic section of your gadgets page. Do chips go with carrots? If you select your poppet cursor and press R1 over the microchip, you will hide or display its circuit board. If you select the circuit board with the action button, you can resize it with the right stick. Tweak the microchip, and you'll be able to tidy things up even more by disabling the Show Wires option. Anything you place on this microchip will behave as though it was stuck straight to the object at the same position as the microchip. Your microchip is small, but powerful. You can add all manner of gadgetry, logic, even more microchips to its circuit board. Only you could burn a salad, Sackboy. I'm trying to forget about this experience already, but maybe you want to remember. In that case, you'll need a note from your gadgets page. Notes let you leave messages about your gadgets, contraptions and devices for yourself or another creator. Very handy for sharing the knowledge and the love. Tweak the note to write your message. Keep it clean. No Rudy potty-trousered swearies, thank you very much. And press R1 to hide or show it to the world. Oh, it's you. I see you fixed my alarm clock. I'd rather it was on a timer, though, if you don't mind. Open your poppet and get a timer from the advanced logic section of your gadgets page. Connect up that button to the input and the output to the Wobble board. The timer also has a reset button, so it's probably best to connect a button to that as well. You don't want to be that ninny who never turns his alarm off. You can tweak it to set the time it takes to become active. If things get all confused, you can update its current time to something more sensible. The input action sets how the timer behaves. A start-stop timer will count only when it has an input signal. When it's finished, it will produce an on signal. A forwards-backwards timer will count back to 0 when it has no input signal. A start-count-up timer will begin counting as soon as it has an input signal and produce an on signal once it's full. However, a start-count-down timer will count back to 0 and produce an on signal until it's done. Well, pull my hair and call me Susan. Look at the time! It's getting late. Oh my, that rings a bell. Yes, I'm awake, thank you. You can turn that racket off with its reset button. Of course, if you don't connect an input, the timer will just start straight off, so make sure you're in pause mode. You'll also find the counter in the advanced logic section of your tools bag. That button will increase the count every time it becomes active. Tweak it to set its count. Once it fills up, it will output an on signal. Now, in a moment, I'm going to pretend to go to sleep. Pretend. Right. Oh, that's nice. Oh, 5 minutes, please, Mother. It's always nice to add an element of unpredictability. Frogmorton. You didn't expect that, did you? You practically knitted yourself. Select a randomizer from the advanced logic section to get the same effect in your game, but perhaps with less unpleasantness. Now use your poppet cursor to hook its output up to all those lights. Let's have what the young set refer to as a discotheque. Very energetic, but don't forget we can tweak it too. Use the on and off times to set the speed the output changes. Changing the pattern to add means that the lights won't go out once they're on. However, changing the pattern to add and reset when full means that once all the lights are on, the whole shebang will start again. The toggle pattern chooses one output and toggles it on or off. It's also wonderfully chaotic. One last thing, if you set input action to override, then you can connect a sensor to the randomizer and toggle when it's on or off yourself. Have a play around and don't worry, you can't break it or anything, but if you do, you'll have to pay for it. This is what the insides of a Sackboy's brain look like. Hey, at least you've got 2 cogs, and you can control both with a direction splitter. It's in the advanced logic section of the gadgets page. It has 2 outputs, so use your poppet cursor to connect one output to each motor. Now connect the 3-way switch to its input. The direction splitter gives you 2 for the price of 1, and considering they're free, is even better value. Oh, come on, don't be glum. Your brain has still got both its cogs. Shall I tell you about the direction combiner to cheer you up? OK, then. The direction combiner is also in the advanced logic section. It takes 2 inputs and converts them to 1 output. Connect a button to each of the combiner's inputs. Now connect the output to the motor. Tweak that motor's input action to forwards-backwards. Just think of the possibilities, the good you could do, the evil. Actually, not the evil, just the good. Toggle is just like shouting, "and stay on," at something. Whip out your poppet and find a toggle in the advanced logic section of your tools bag. Every time it gets a new input, the output toggles. On flips to off, off flops to on. Ha, you're an old pro at this now. Use your poppet cursor to connect a button to the toggle's input and a light to its output. You see, it's got a memory, and a much more reliable one than mine, too. And another thing, it's got a much more reliable one than mine, too. And... But let's take it one stage further. The selector is a cold, calculating device. You'll find it brooding in the advanced logic section, too. You can tweak the selector to change the number of inputs and outputs it has, from 2 to, oh, I don't know, thousands probably. Let's give it 3. So, connect the 3 switches to the selector's inputs. And connect the outputs to those cakes. A selector helps you manage lots of logic because, now this is important, so pay attention, it will always have one and only one output active at any given time. Just like the toggle, as soon as an input occurs, the output of the selector changes. However, if there is more than one input active, only the output closest to the end of the selector will be active. Yes, yes, stop being so smug, it doesn't become you. The selector also has a cycle input. Not a bicycle, you sack-for-brains ninny. Oh, I didn't mean that. Connect that button up to the cycle input. Every time it gets activated, the output moves along to the next one. It all becomes clearer the more you play with it, I promise. All this jumping around doing brain maths is tiring. Like to join me in a cup of tea? It's a very big cup. The selector also has a cycle input. Not a bicycle, you sack-for-brains ninny. Oh, I didn't mean that. Connect that button up to the cycle input. Every time it gets activated, the output moves along to the next one. It all becomes clearer the more you play with it, I promise. All this jumping around doing brain maths is tiring. Like to join me in a cup of tea? It's a very big cup. You know, when you wake someone up in the middle of the night by flooding their room, and they say, "Why did you flood my room in the middle of the night?" And you say, "But it's in the middle of the day," so they get dressed and rush outside and into the middle of the night, so you've got them twice. Oh, well, maybe it's just me that does that then. Well, you can do those things in LittleBigPlanet too, if you like. It's brill fun. Either use the global controls page of the tools bag to affect your whole scene, or use the world tweaker objects to change things with a sensor. For example, a button, a player sensor, or the object's own trigger zone. First off, select the global lighting tweaker. It lets you alter the lighting of your level, the fog, and even the colors. Simply tweak it and play with the options until it's just the right kind of beautiful. Very Casablanca. Of all the Sackboys in all the world, however else it goes on. But then again, maybe you just want to flood the place. In that case, simply select the global water tweaker from the world tweakers. It will let you flood your level quicker than you can say, "I was wrong to mock your boat, please can I come aboard?" Get out your poppet cursor and tweak the global water tweaker. You can change the water level, the wave height, and even its colour and murkiness. Makes you feel like Poseidon, god of the sea, doesn't it? Remember Poseidon? Retired now. Runs a fish stall down the market. Nice bloke. Oh, relax, Sackboy. You can swim. You can. You got that certificate, remember? If all that sounded good, wait till you hear this. With the global audio tweaker, you can set what environment your scene sounds like. A hall, a cave, an armpit. You can create armpit land by altering the reverb settings. SFX Send indicates how much the sound effects in your scene are being affected by the reverb, and the dialogue and music sends affect the dialogue and music. The volume controls allow you to alter the volumes of the different elements of the mix when the global audio tweaker is active. Finally, the filter settings let you make the different elements of the mix sound all muffly Mary, like that time you got a sock in your ear. Oh, don't worry. Elderflower can use one of her 7 stomachs as a flotation device. I was talking to Susan the other day, and I asked her how she likes to be congratulated for being lovely. She said, meow, because she's a cat. But what she meant was that she just loves a stroke, a tickle, and a score-giver object. It's in the World Tweakers section of your poppet. Place it somewhere great and tweak it to set how many points you want it to dish out. You can also tweak who should get the points, the player who activated the score giver, or her and all her little sack chums. You're getting more points than a hedgehog in a jam-eating contest. And what do points mean? That's right, Smarty Sack. Prizes are like Christmas presents. It's always better to give them than receive them. Someone should tell Susan that. Open your poppet and head to the Sensors section. We'll use a score sensor to give players rewards when they get a certain score. It's simple, really. Just choose at what score you want the counter to become active. Ooh, ooh, ooh! I hope that emitter is going to make a cake. Joy, thy name is cake. A game ender will teleport every player to the scoreboard, if there is one. But if there isn't, you'll politely be asked if you would like to return to your pod or start again. Tweak the game ender to alter the success setting. Is the player a winner or a loser? By default, we want you to be a winner, because you're lovely, and so are we. If, however, you want the player to lose when this game ender is activated, set success to no, you big meanie. You're going to have to take my word for it, though, as a game ender only works in play mode. So, just attach that button and jump on to activate it. Ready? Geronimo! jovial fellow is Crash Test Teddy. You may have met already. He's going to help us out today. Firstly, open up your poppet to the Object Tweakers section of your Gadgets page. Choose a Danger Tweaker. Don't worry, Ted. It's just a name. Best attach a button to be on the safe side. The Danger Tweaker will turn whatever it's attached to into fire, plasma, or electrified material. You can tweak it to choose how it affects Crash Test Teddy. Don't worry, this is all in the name of comic mischief. Ted's not actually being hurt. He's a trained stunt Teddy. Well, he's got his cycling proficiency certificate at least. While the Danger Tweaker is active, it affects the object it's attached to, just like the Danger tools, so be careful what you touch. You're safe behind that metal wall for now, so get a destroyer from the Object Tweaker section. Tweaking a destroyer allows you to choose the destruction effect. If you want to destroy all the objects it's attached to, select Include Rigid Connections. Just place that destroyer on Crash Test Teddy. There, Ted, there's nothing to worry about. I'm perfectly safe. Finally, connect that button to the destroyer. Hold still, Ted. I'd like to thank Crash Test Teddy for his invaluable contribution to today's lesson. Crash Test Teddy has kindly taken a leave of absence from the infirmary to help us out here. So, open up your poppet and head to the Object Tweakers section of the Gadgets page. The Material Tweaker lets you change the physical behavior of your objects. You'll notice that Ted here is made of sponge, not a particularly bouncy material. But tweaking the Material Tweaker lets you change the bounciness and the friction of any object. Ted, we're not finished. Even better than that, you can tweak the Material Tweaker to make any object sticky, like Ted, of course. There are 3 options for stickiness. Normal won't do anything, while sticky makes the object more adhesive than a boiled sweet stuck to your desk. It'll fix itself to almost anything it touches. Setting the option to nothing sticks makes it harder to stick to than a kipper in a leotard. Not even another sticky object can do it. To lighten the mood, we want to make known to you the services of the Anti-Gravity Tweaker, once more from the Object Tweakers section. Use your poppet cursor to tweak it and set the level of how gravitationally challenged you want Teddy to become. The dampening sets how quickly things slow down when they get moved. Instead of air, imagine Ted moving through pea soup. Thank you, Crash Test Teddy, for helping us out. Can we offer you a lift anywhere? Oh, I see. He's got one. Controllinator is the most amazing technological achievement in LittleBigPlanet since Sackboy attached a motor bolt to a jumper and made the first wearable spinning top. It lets you control objects directly through the wireless controller. Think of the possibilities! Place one down by holding the Action button, then choose Show Circuit Board. That looks strangely familiar. A super high-tech version of the wireless controller, perhaps. Every single output on it is a hotline directly to the same button on your wireless controller. Let's make this cake rise. With your cursor, connect the left stick outputs to that advanced mover. Now connect the L1 button to the light. Tweak the automatically enter value. If it's a yes, then once you're inside the trigger radius, you'll get sat down straight away. But if set to no, then simply press the triangle button to hop on in. Side-mounted affects how any given Sackboy sits down. It's nice to give him a seat with a view. The remote control option lets you control one controllinator with another. Set one to be transmitter and one to be receiver. But make sure their colours match, otherwise you'll end up changing channels on the telly or something awful. That cake is as light and floaty as a jellyfish in a hang glider. In Create mode, just tap R3 to leave the controllinator at any time. But what if you want to spin your fluttery fruitcake? The advanced Rotator will whirl that bumbling Battenberg with abandon by spinning it in whatever direction its inputs tell it. Simply place one on the cake and connect it to the right stick of the controllinator. Or why not try the joystick rotator? Like the other rotators, it's in the Rotators section. This handy little tool ensures that the angle of the thing it's on will always match the angle of the right or left stick, whichever it's connected to. So, connect the right stick outputs to the joystick rotator. You're a fast learner, aren't you? Have a fiddle and faff around. When it comes to the controllinator, not even the sky is the limit. LittleBigPlanet is full of wonderful and sometimes monstrous creatures. So let's create some more. Let's take a humble cake and transform it into a curious cake creature. Your poppet contains a menagerie of creature pieces, helpfully rounded up into the creatures section of the gadgets page. Almost every dog I know has a brain, apart from next door's dog, Niblet, who spent the afternoon chewing a bone, then realized he only had 3 legs left. So select one from your poppet. There are 2 to choose from, protected and unprotected. Don't worry about lining it up too much on the side of the object. Creature pieces are smart enough to do that for you. Press back to return to your poppet. For his front legs, the best thing to do is to select a creature leg. But with only one, he'll totter around like a lopsided pirate. Just place another creature wheel? Hang on a minute. Oh well, that'll do. Place an eye or 3 on his head. You are sure that's his head? Well, I suppose it is now. Why not get out your poppet cursor and tweak the brain? By setting the behavior to follow, your creature will stick close to you like an affectionate shadow. Or by setting behavior to flee, he'll run away like a fair-weather friend. You could even set behavior to ignore, and your creature will ignore you like a moody spouse. Have fun experimenting, Dr. Frankensack. Use these magic mouths to impart vital information, or simply tell daft jokes. Like, why did the motorcyclist put 2 pieces of cheese in his helmet? So he could feel the breeze in his hair. Breeze a type of cheese. Open your poppet and find the creatures section. That's where the magic mouths live. A magic mouth can be tweaked to have text in either a speech bubble or a subtitle. Remember, keep it nice, no naughty or wretched drivel. LittleBigPlanet is all about being creative and telling the world about it. Mouths make noises, and the speech options allow you to choose exactly what kind. Select gibberish for mumbles, grumbles and yelps in the style you choose. Utterly incomprehensible. Love it. But even better, you can record your own thespian musings with a microphone by choosing the Record New option. I wonder what Ted might be saying. Press the record button and let's put some words into his mouth. LBP, I love you. LBP, I love you. Oh, golly, now I'm speechless. Tweak the trigger radius to set how close you need to be to hear it whittering on. Enable the cutscene camera option, and you'll find yourself able to set the camera angle and zoom to get those dramatic close-ups for cool lines like, "It's time to take out the trash," and "I'm gonna kick me some bottom," or any other Shakespearean quotes you have to hand. LBP, I love you. Music be the food of love, prepare to fill your face. We're going to give Elderflower here a soundtrack. Open your poppet and find the Audio Objects page. It's where your music objects live. It's time to turn on, tune in, and place this music object with the action button. Hold the action button down and let's get straight into tweaking. Tweak the volume to make the music shouty loud, whisper soft, or anywhere in between, and change the start point to jump right into your favorite bit. You can control the individual track volumes of your tunes and remix to your heart's content. Set the trigger radius so the music begins playing just when you need it to, or you can trigger it from the output of another sensor. Sound objects are LittleBigPlanet's resident noise machines. Let's make Elderflower sing to the music. Hold down the action button again to tweak the sound object as you place it. Select Choose Sound. I don't need to tell you what sound a cow makes, do I? Good, well, we are in LittleBigPlanet, expect the etc. The modifier can change the sound in myriad astounding ways. And you can make it louder or softer with the volume control. Lastly, remember you can connect a sensor to the sound object to have it play when you want. We always thought Elderflower the cow was barking. You have a stripy scarf and a bowler hat? Then either you're an extremely misguided World War I pilot, or perhaps, just perhaps, you're some kind of avant-garde musician. Sackboy van Beethandel-Korsakoff III. The music sequencer object will let you compose anything from a ditty to a symphony, right here inside LittleBigPlanet. So why not select one now? Go on, Maestro. It's in the music sequencer section of the audio objects page. Here you place instruments to create your cacophony, your masterpiece. These instruments also live in the music sequencer section of the audio objects page. So select one now. Tweak the instrument to rewrite its libretto, so to speak. Each instrument contains a pattern, so let's get composing quick-sharp. Move the cursor around with the left stick and place down new notes with the action button. Up and down on the right stick will change the volume of the note. Left and right will change its timbre, the unique colour of the instrument, if you will. It's R1 and L1 to lengthen or shorten your notes, and R2 and L2 to skip forwards or backwards 8 steps. Like everything else in Poppet, you can undo and redo with the left and right buttons. Most importantly, the up button will let you preview your Meisterwerk. Or pre-hear, I suppose. Just as I had feared. I've heard more musical steak dinners. Oh, compose yourself. Perhaps the muse is absent today. Once you're done, why not tweak the instrument by tapping the menu button? Have a fiddle with some of the options. They'll allow you to change parameters, such as the key and the scale this pattern plays in. Once you're happy, place your instruments on the music sequencer's circuit board in any order you choose. It could be either chin-strokingly sensible or brain-bendingly atonal. You are composer, conductor, and that person who stands at the back and plays the triangle, all in one. It's up to you. If you tweak the music sequencer, you can adjust properties of the whole piece. The volume, the tempo, even how much swing to put in its step. That's quite enough of that. Let's have a listen. Well, that's certainly something to blow your own trumpet about. Is something broken? Like your ears? Now, a certain someone may have told you a Porky Pete when he said that sliced bread was the bestest thing ever. Because, old sackmate, the sequencer is even bester, and that's science fact. You'll find it in the advanced logic section of your goodies bag. just waiting to do your bidding in an orderly, timely, and extremely efficient fashion. Get one out now, I dare you. Tweak the sequencer, and you can change its name, its trigger region, whether it loops or not, and, most importantly, you can change the sequencer's speed, which is measured in Cosmos Standard Metric Poppet Blocks per second. Best attach that button to the sequencer's input. Righto. You can place almost any object on a sequencer, so why not start with a battery? You never need to worry about setting those pesky timings or get in a flap about difficult things like numbers. Oh, no. Simply resize the battery using up and down on the right stick to represent the time you want it to remain active. Or why not try a timer? Set this one to forwards backwards and resize it to 1 Cosmos Standard Metric Poppet Block. The sequencer has a playhead that moves forward according to the sequencer's speed. You can reposition it by pressing the square button. Any object underneath the playhead behaves as predictably as dear old Susan sitting in my breakfast on a Sunday morning. The battery remains on. A timer will run and... Oh! I nearly forgot. Go on, then. Everything behaves very predictably. Before I go and clean my cereal from Susan's whiskers, and hopefully not her bottom, I'll tell you a little secret about movie cameras. You don't need to set hold times or transition times on a movie camera when it's on a sequencer. Resize a movie camera to set the time it is active like anything else, but overlapping 2 cameras sets the transition time, how quickly to move from one to another. It's more Marvy than a goat in a monocle. Now, I think that... Susan! What do you... Oh, perhaps I should just eat toast. Aristotle had lots of theories about structure. Not the philosopher, I mean Harry Stottle, the builder who messed up our conservatory, so we can ignore him. Open your Poppet with the menu button and find the level kit in the Gameplay Kits page of your goodies bag. Gameplay kits are the ideal building blocks to make your imagination and dreams become real. Your game will begin through an entrance, so place it carefully. A scoreboard does much more than just keeping score. It's also the end point for your game. Tweak the scoreboard to choose any gifts you want to impart to those sackfolk worthy enough to traverse your realm. Oh, how very generous. As we know, imagination is pure energy, and energy cannot die. So let's install some rebirth booths for when your visitors fall foul of anything nasty. Checkpoints. They come in 3 flavors: single, double, and infinite. The last checkpoint activated is where a player will pop back into existence should they meet an untimely demise. No need to send them all the way back to the entrance. You can also activate checkpoints with a sensor. Did you know that? In LittleBigPlanet 2, there's no need to limit yourself to just one scene at a time. You can send your players hopping straight from one scene to t'other with a level link. Tweak the level link and you'll be able to connect your scene up to any other scene you've previously published. Once activated in a game, your level link will whisk players far across the Wonder Plane and straight into the next scene. An interstellar bus route, if you like, but without all the delays or the smell. All this will set you well on your way to becoming a master creator, a higher life form, an exponent extraordinaire of Imagineering. And you get a badge. Yay! It's time you learned about the 3 B's, the birds, bees, and bubbles. And seeing as I know nothing of birds or bees, let's concentrate on bubbles. In the Level Kit section of your poppet, you will find 2 different types of bubble. Firstly, the score bubble. Score bubbles give you points. The more points a player gets, the higher up the scoreboard's high score table he, she, or it will climb. Even better, a score multiplier is graciously administered for every 5 bubbles collected quickly. Use prize bubbles to give away objects you've made. A generous heart is a happy heart, so they say. Place a prize bubble by holding down the Action button. Let's choose a gift in the Tweak menu. Crash Test Teddy gets about a bit. Choose him. The Shareable setting allows you to decide how far afield this present can be shared. A sharing present means that whoever picks it up can pass it on to their friends, while a private present means it's theirs and theirs alone. It's not stingy, it's just that some things are too special and wonderful to give away, like you. And when you collect a prize bubble, you'll find the prize in the Community Objects page. There! Now let's mush it all up together into a great big fun thing. Wonderful! Love becomes priceless when you give it away for free. Why not add some thrills and spills to your scene with a purpose-built race against time? Firstly, spring open your poppet and head on over to the Level Kit section in the Tools bag. Since we're going to be racing in this tutorial, you'll want a No Join post somewhere near the start. Once the No Join post is activated, no other Sackfolk will be allowed to join the game. It's perfect for that exclusive soiree. Go back to the Level Kits section, choose a start gate and place it where you want your race to begin. Hold down the Action button and tweak the start gate to set how much time to allow for your race. Is it a sprint or a marathon? Anyone who doesn't finish in time will get 0 points, no score. And of course, there's no point having a start without an end. First through the finish line wins fame, adulation, and a big sloppy kiss from Elderflower the cow. This is like the World Championships. Well, a partially organised sack race at any rate. And that's that. Now be off with you. There's creating to be done. Everything in LittleBigPlanet is made of fluff, sponge and smiles. Quiver you might, young sackster. Unknock your knees, open your poppet, and go to the dangerous section. A set of spikes would be a thorn in your side, quite literally. Just one touch from these, and you'll not only shuffle, but fling off your mortal coil, for a moment at least. You're quite safe from the big sleep in create mode, however. Sometimes we need a bit more bang for our buck. Back in the dangerous section, the impact explosive will explode as soon as it feels another object giving it anything more than a light tickle. It has personal space issues. Oh, Teddy, I wouldn't stand there. Trigger explosive will blow up only when you want it to and not a moment before. A trigger button would be handy right now. Most convenient. Use your poppet cursor to connect the button's output tab to the trigger explosive. Now, stand well back. Oh my, neither of us saw that coming, did we? Yes, Sackboy, I did too. What a predicament! The perfect opportunity to demonstrate the bounce pad, I'd say. So, open your poppet and find your way to the level kit section of your tools bag. A bounce pad uses precise imagineering to fling you exactly the same distance every single time. It doesn't even matter how hard you hit it. 1, 2, 3, hop! Well, you're going to have to tweak the distance settings first, obviously. Set the height to 4 and we'll be flying. And you didn't even need a run-up. You know, I think you should join the circus. Everybody wants to be a superhero at one time or another. As a child, I spent many an afternoon with a hollowed-out melon on my head as Fruit Boy. The power-ups in LittleBigPlanet help you to live out that dream, and they're all in the Gameplay Kits page. The grappling hook is a stupendous, shooty, grabby thing. Use it to grab onto things that would be out of reach for a normal, unsuper Sackboy. For each of these power-ups, just walk over them to put them on. Press and hold the grab button to fire the grappling hook. It will attach itself to any close object that can be grabbed. Use the left stick to then do your superheroic moves and stuff. That's it. Heave! And when you're done, just let go of the grab button. And when you're really, really done, press the back button to shake it off. So, what other super-duper things can you do? The other power-up you need to know about is the Grabinator. These marvellous gloves give you the power to lift impossible things. You can try to pick up anything that is grabbable simply by holding the grab button when you're next to it. Look uber cool by throwing big things around. Throw the block by letting go of the grab button. It'll go in the direction you're holding the left stick, so make sure you're facing the something that deserves a good telling off. You can tweak any of these power-ups and set the Can Be Dropped option. Set it to No, and you'll remain powered up until the end of the scene. Of course, no one should be given absolute power. Throw down a Remove Power-Up device, and any Sackboy who activates it will be immediately stripped of his power-up. There we are, Super Sackboy. Your secret is safe with me. Creatornator is the coolest, trendiest piece of headgear this side of Fab Hat Street, Hiptown, Groovishire. You'll find it in the Power-Up section of the Gameplay Kits page. Tweak the Creatornator to choose what you want it to fire. Just think of it as an emitter strapped to your bonce. You could emit Elderflower the cow, for example. Of course, there are some ready-made water, fire and plasma drops for you in the projectiles section. If you're using these projectiles, then you might be interested in the projectile sensor that lives in the Gadgets page. It works like a counter. Every time its object is hit by a projectile, the count increases. You can tweak its target count, current count, and choose if you want to include rigid connections. Connect the projectile sensor to that light just there. Once it's been hit the right number of times, the projectile sensor's output will activate. Well, I'd say that's better than a hat that actually holds your drink any day. But you know what? The Creatornator can fire anything you can dream of, and probably more. You can tweak how much ammo your Creatornator carries and how accurately it will fire said ammo. Carry on like this and you'll be rewriting all the statistics on ballistics, files on projectiles, and directories on trajectories. It's so sad. Are all your chumblies busy creating magical levels with their Imagineering skills at the moment? Couldn't you make yourself some friends? Why not? This is LittleBigPlanet. Make a Sackbot friend. Or if you're feeling all confrontational, a Sackbot enemy. They live in the Sackbot section of your tools bag, to be precise. This Sackbot is the cleverest thing since man crawled out of the primordial soup and invented the supermarket loyalty card. Treat him like your personal doll. Let's give him a costume. You can choose from all the outfits and clothing in your own costumes page. Select an animation style to match. It's no good having a zombie in a medieval castle. Or perhaps it is. This Sackbot is in idle mode at the moment. What a layabout. Let's G him up a bit. Tweak him and try setting his behaviour to follow for now. Oh, bless, he'll really try his hardest to keep up with you. And why not increase his awareness radius while you're at it? Make him more aware of what's around him. He's very capable, isn't he? Perhaps a bit too Frankenstein's monster capable. Limit him by changing his movement settings. You can make him afraid of heights, or afraid of danger. You can tweak him so he can change layer, or so he can jump. Sackbots will even use power-ups if you let them. Tweak the Creatinator, Grabinator, and Controllinator options to decide. To control your Sackbot's gaze, set the Look at Tag colour to match a tag within his awareness radius. That's sure to turn some heads. Turn some heads. Dear me. To make your Sackbots even more lifelike and potentially capable of running amok and destroying LittleBigPlanet forever, make sure you choose an appropriate behaviour for them. If you want to make a scaredy bot, set his behaviour to flee. Look at that! You've terrified the poor little thing just by standing there. Or tweak him to choose the act behaviour. By recording your own actions, you can channel your every move directly into his brain. You could record him doing a classic dance, say the funky park bench, or even some of that never-popular robotic dancing. There are 3 playback modes to choose from. Play once means he's a one-shot pony, while loop relative means he will keep on acting up wherever he's standing. Tell him to loop absolute, and he'll attempt to make his way back to his starting point whenever his acting ends. Hello, Mr. Sackbot. Give us a robotic microwave. Well, microwave back. It's only polite. Use the patrol behaviour to set up a kind of wooden guard dog. While you're at it, make sure he doesn't totter off that ledge. If you decide he's right-handed, he'll patrol so that obstacles are always on his right, but if he's a lefty, he'll keep them on his left. By the way, each Sackbot has its own inbuilt microchip. Choose Show Circuit Board or press R1 when you want to use it. From the Sackbots section of your poppet, you can place additional behaviours straight onto the microchip. These behaviours can be activated with any kind of logic, benign or fiendish, that you can devise. The Sackbot will behave according to the most recently activated behaviour on his microchip. If you tweak him to be hostile, then be prepared to have your creation turn on you and destroy everything you hold dear. It's only a bit of fun. If his behavior is set to follow, then a hostile Sackbot will be no respecter of your personal space. He'll just barge right in. And if he's a patroller, he'll charge you down as soon as you step into his awareness radius. If he has a creatorinator on him, he'll turn it on you. Scary stuff. If you want your Sackbot to be one of those lovey actor types, then you might consider giving him a magic mouth or 7. Either set the actor name of your Sackbot to match the actor name of a magic mouth, or just plonk a magic mouth directly onto the Sackbot's microchip. Your Sackbot will lip-sync along to the magic mouth like a happy ventriloquist dummy. Or should I say, like a happy ventriloquist dummy. There are plenty of options, but you'll become an expert Imagineer of Sackbotics in no time at all. Game camera is just what you need when you want precise control over how your scenes are seen. Open up your poppet and you'll find it in the cameras section of the gameplay kits. The very best bit about the game camera is that you can tweak it to set its exact angle and zoom. By adjusting the trigger zone, you can control when the camera becomes active. The player tracking option allows you to fiddle with how much it follows some attention-hounding Sackboy who might meander into the game camera's trigger zone. Yes, just like you. Gasp! Dramatic! Press the action button when you're happy, or the back button to start again. Well, this is all very Hollywood blockbuster, isn't it? Funny, I never thought you had the abs to be an all-action hero and Sackgirl magnet. Sometimes you want to save those special moments for later. A quick snapshot would come in handy, wouldn't it? The snapshot camera in the cameras section will help you out. Place it and frame the shot just like a game camera. You can also set the countdown, but how long can you hold your cheesy grin? When you enter the trigger zone, the snapshot camera takes a photo and bungs it straight in your My Pictures page. Finally, you manage not to pull a silly face. One for the family album at last. Tired of just playing games in LittleBigPlanet? Fancy yourself as the next Quentin Sacantino or Sackley Kubrick? Of course you do. Well, for all you wannabe movie moguls, check out the movie camera in the cameras section of the goodies bag. Firstly, slap down a few movie cameras. They're more brill than gold-plated custard. You can link them together to make your own cinematic masterpieces. Or mistress pieces, I suppose. Fiddle with the angle and zoom to set up your shots. Works just like a game camera, Mr. Director. Have you got the angle right, the focus, the actor's reason for throwing a hissy fit? Then all you need is a platter of tiny cucumber sandwiches. Use your poppet cursor to connect the output of one camera to to the input of another. Just like a celluloid centipede. A cellupede? A centilloid? Oh, they sound great, don't they? Now, tweaking the hold time of a movie camera sets how long it will hog the shot. The transition time sets how long it takes to move from the previous camera. Camera type sets what transition you would like. The first one will be a cut camera. Let's have this one as a crossfade. You get a crossfade when you punch a happy fade on the nose. To go quickly between linked movie cameras, press R1 to move to the next camera and preview the transition, or L1 to jump back to the previous one. Oh, yes, smoother than a saxophone player on ice skates. So, finally, connect that button up and let's roll VT. And action. You deserve some kind of golden statuette for that. It's just like being there. Well, I wouldn't know, actually. I can't leave Susan in the house alone. She still doesn't know how to use the litter tray.